and scratch.
You have 3 minutes.
Alles klar, Herr Kommissar.
Basically, what we really wanted to do on this album was try and take it out of the microscope. I think the last album that we made was very much like sort of looking at a microscope into somebody's private pain. And we wanted to do something which was more widescreen this time. You know, we wanted to do something which was full of color and also a bit more uplifting.
Breathe underwater, I'm coming up for air. I wanna see another dawn. Coming up for air. Sack of the slaughter, I'm coming up for air. 'Cause I've been floating here too long. Where's my goddamn latte?
Because I think that we went to a very, very dark place with our last record. And that's good, you know, that's fine, and that's worthwhile. However, there's only so long that you can stay in the dark place. And I think as people, we have chosen to perhaps step out of the dark place. And I think this album is a reflection of that. Hence why it's called Battle for the Sun, you know? Because the light is worthwhile, and the darkness is part of all of us, and we must acknowledge the darkness. However, we can choose to not live in the darkness all the time, you know? It's a choice, but there's always a struggle.
Broke up the family, everybody crying. For what it's worth, I have a slow disease that sucked me dry. For what it's worth, come on, walk with me into the rising tide. For what it's worth, fill the cavity.
At the end of our last sort of world tour, we were a band that was very unhappy, and we had to make certain decisions to continue. And so we made a lot of decisions, and one of those decisions was to change the personnel within the band. And so when Steve joined the band, we were met once more with a great deal of optimism and positivity, because we had found, I think, a kind of freedom which we hadn't experienced for a few years, and that was important to us, and I think that infused the record in general.
The sound of silence grows as a spider's kiss is laid. The tumor becomes malign, but the kids are doing fine. And as the two of us rebel and damn you all to hell, I wonder, is this all there is?
The voice of God is spoken.
Oh, brown love.
God is bold. Battle for the Sun is, you know, very, very much a Placebo album, but it's a different kind of Placebo record, you know. It's a Placebo record that sort of wants to sort of jump out of the CD player and walk across the street and hug someone, you know, and go, it's all right.
Don't leave me Don't leave me
I like to say Vorsprung durch Technik.
I think this album is very, very much about stepping out of the darkness and stepping into the light. You know, you can choose, you know, to stay in the shadows like the Rasmus, or, you know, you can choose to, you know, stand in the sunlight like the Beach Boys.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long? And wouldn't it be nice to live together in the kind of world where we belong? No one's gonna make it that much better when we can say goodnight and stay together.
Now, I'm a massive Beach Boys fan. I downloaded off the internet the first time that Battle for the Sun, the actual song, was played. And so it goes into my iTunes, and I listen to it, and then straight after comes Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. And so I rediscovered, through my own music, I rediscovered Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. And truthfully, I think that it is one of the most groundbreaking records that has ever been recorded. And in fact, there really isn't that much difference between Battle for the Sun, our new record, and Pet Sounds. What basically Pet Sounds did was bring string sections, brass sections into modern pop. And this connection was something that I discovered recently. Of course, I'm not gonna pretend that the album that we've made is as groundbreaking as Pet Sounds, you know, which is basically, you know, possibly the most groundbreaking record that's, you know, ever existed. But I like to think that we are, you know, more inspired by that kind of musical experimentalism than, you know, somebody like the Rasmus, for example, you know, where it's all about being in the shadows and sort of gluing feathers to yourself.
I